Hi, Michelle. How are you?
Hello, everyone. Hi, Victoria. How are you? I'm doing good.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited for today's episode.
Another episode of Civic Chat. Gotta have it. We're super excited about today's topic. Today, we're going to be talking about absentee ballot and early voting. Of course, you guys know the last day for early voting is approaching us. It is by this week. So by tomorrow, make sure you have cast in your ballots if you plan to early vote. So I'm very excited. And not only that, but hey, next Tuesday is election day. That's crazy.
I know it went by so quick. I swear we just started doing this one again. Like what? Like it seems like last week, but I think
it really has
been episode already.
I feel like last week was the general elections. Are you kidding me?
I know everything's just 2020 is just ready to be done itself.
Yes, I know it's really crazy. But hello, everybody. My name is Michelle Zuluaga. I'm the Civic Participation Manager for the Latino Community Fund Georgia.
And then my name is Victoria Rivas, and I am the Civic Engagement Coordinator for Vecinos de Beaufort Highway. And thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Civic's Chat today.
Yes, we are super excited. Today we're going to be talking about absentee ballots and early voting. So Victoria, can you tell us a little bit about the runoff elections?
So as I don't know if you guys have missed our previous episodes, but we do have a whole episode on the runoff election. But just to go a little bit over, these runoff elections are happening since none of the candidates running for Senate did win the 50% of the majority vote. So they do have to go to the runoffs based on the November 3rd election. But again, we do have an episode full on just runoff elections here in Georgia and why they're happening. So if you're interested, please go back to our Instagram and check it out.
Absolutely, or either of our Facebook pages if you guys want to go and look it up there. We have so much information, so many episodes. So I'm super excited about that. And hey, we're going to continue on doing this. So
yes. Michelle, what are the different ways to send in your absentee ballot? I know a lot of people have gotten them already. They might not know what to do. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so you can actually turn in your absentee ballot in person, by mail, or you can do it through an absentee ballot box, which is we want to encourage you to do it through your closest absentee ballot box. You can do it in your county. Make sure that you turn it in before January 5th at 7 p.m. Very important that you guys turn it in on time. So we do want to encourage you that instead of mail, because it has been taking a while now for all of you guys to turn in your absentee ballots through your closest ballot box. In your county, you can just go to your registrar's office, or most of the time they're also in polling locations where you can just go and take your absentee ballot. So we definitely want to encourage you guys to do that. Victoria, when is the last day you can send an application, right? There's a difference between an application and the actual absentee ballot.
Yes, well, I suggest if you guys haven't sent in your absentee ballot application to honestly just go ahead and vote in person. It is just to make sure you guys get your vote in, because by the time you get your application, want to send it back and get your absentee ballot, you might not make it in time, and it's just with all the mail, we just don't want to risk it. So if you do have your absentee ballot, not the application, just send it in ASAP, or like Michelle said, just do it on the Dropbox. You can just go to your county registers and contact them to know. And as oftentimes there are in the polling locations for early voting, so just check that out. They do have those available, but just do it ASAP, don't delay. If you really don't think you can send in your absentee ballot, just remember to go to the polls and just try to vote in person. But yeah, it's really crucial to just get your vote in time. I suggest don't mail it anymore. Just go to a Dropbox.
Just go to a Dropbox, and if you haven't if you haven't turned in your absentee ballot application, remember in the state of Georgia, you have to submit an application first before you receive your actual absentee ballot. If you have not done that yet, go ahead and vote in person, because you're just not going to get it in time. However, we do want to encourage you to maintain your distance, go safe, go during downtimes where there's not a lot of people. Guys, remember, we are in the middle of a pandemic, and voting in person, of course, comes with it risk, but make sure you do cast your vote.
Yes. And Michelle, do we need a stamp or does it come with one if we do want to send in our absentee ballots?
So you can, if you want to mail your absentee ballot, it does come with one. However, we do want to encourage you, again, as we mentioned earlier in the show, go ahead and send it or go ahead and take it to your nearest absentee ballot Dropbox. With this absentee ballot Dropbox, you don't have to worry about if your vote got there on time, if you need a stamp or not. You can avoid all that headache and just take it to your absentee ballot Dropbox in your county nearest to you or where you're registered. So go ahead and do that. Victoria, what happens if I send in my absentee ballot?
So if you already sent in your absentee ballot, great, but just keep checking your status on your absentee ballot. So you can do this by going to my voter page, and you will see a box that says absentee ballot request information. And then there it shows you the status, if it has received, if your vote has been collected. Just keep checking, because oftentimes you just want to make sure you get your vote in. You just, like I said, with all the mail and COVID, everything is being delayed, holidays. You just want to keep making sure you are checking your status, because you do want to see if your absentee ballot has been accepted. Which brings us, Michelle, what there are scenarios where your absentee ballot can get rejected. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
That is so true. So there's a couple of reasons why your absentee ballot can potentially be rejected. And to be clear, these are all avoidable mistakes. Okay. So one is if you turn what is called a naked ballot. So what happens is when you request an absentee ballot, you are going to get two envelopes. And then one envelope is where you put in your absentee ballot, and the bigger envelope is where you put the envelope where you put your absentee ballot. So you're actually going to use two envelopes for your absentee ballot, right? It's kind of like double sealed. And when you don't put it in that first envelope, right? People usually just put it on the envelope where you sign, but they don't put it in that first envelope that you're supposed to put it in. That's considered to be a naked ballot, and your ballot is rejected. Another reason why your ballot can be rejected is if you did not fill it out correctly. So it's very important for you to make sure that you follow all the instructions. And then also, if you didn't sign it on the outside of the actual ballot, that's another reason why your absentee ballot can be rejected. So make sure you fill it out correctly, you follow all of the instructions. We actually have a couple of tutorials and stuff to let you know how to fill out your absentee ballot. And then also make sure that, if there is a mistake, or if you're noticing that your absentee ballot isn't being counted, your county elections office will contact you to cure or correct your absentee ballot. However, we wouldn't rely on this. There are so many voters that are out there, and it's hard to keep up with all of them. So it's really up to you to make sure that your ballot is being counted. So make sure that you're checking, just like Victoria mentioned, your My Voter page. Make sure that your absentee ballot is being counted. And if not, call your elections office, because you do have a courtesy time to cure your absentee ballot. Victoria, what if I decide to all of a sudden vote in person? Let's say I sent my application and I have an absentee ballot, but I just want to vote in person.
Okay, well, you will have to go to a polls, and they will make you sign a document. It's usually called an affidavit. And it's just a document saying that you are only going to vote once. When you get to your polling location, you just ask for this. And you do this also if you think your ballot will not be received in time, or so, if you haven't sent it in yet. So do not send in an absentee ballot and then try to go vote in person. Michelle will talk to us about that later. But yeah, if you return your absentee ballot, you cannot change your mind and then go vote in person. So once you have that sent in, that's it. You can't vote again. But if you do decide you want to vote in person and you have not turned in your absentee ballot, just go in. You're going to sign a document saying that you are only voting once, and you should be good to go.
Absolutely, that would be fraud. You know, that would be fraud. You are not supposed to vote twice. Please do not do that.
Yes. So Michelle, do you want to tell us a little bit about the voter turnout here in Georgia, on absentee ballots and just overall? I'm really excited about these numbers.
Absolutely. These numbers are huge. And of course, the pandemic has to do with it, but it also has to do with voter turnout. You know, Victoria, there are so many people that complain about all the texts and all the canvassers and all the mailers and all the emails. They complain about that, but look at these numbers. And this is a result of all that work and constant reminder of telling everybody, hey, go vote. Now, so far in 2001 in runoff elections, we have had a total of, here, listen to this, 2,556,332 votes. That is insane.
That's so good. That is early voting. Yes.
Just early voting. And if we're honest, you know, next time you get that text, next time you get that canvas or that phone call, just remember these numbers, because this is a result of all that effort. And this is a beautiful thing to see, and not only to see, but to also be a part of. And then 855,766 of those ballots were accepted through absentee ballots. So that's almost 1 million ballots. And then 1,363,831 of those were absentee ballot requests. So, you know, absentee ballots are actually a lot more common. I would say the pandemic does have to do a lot with it. However, you know, it's beautiful to see these numbers, and we want to see more and more. So remember to go and vote. If you can, please go vote early. If not, you are more than welcome to go and vote on election day. Make sure if you're voting through absentee ballot to turn in your absentee ballot by 7 p.m. on Tuesday. So Victoria, where do I find my Dropbox?
So you can actually do this by contacting your county's registrar's office to find a Dropbox near you, or you can also go to vote.org. But how you said earlier, they are available on most of the early polling locations, so it's worth a try just to go to the nearest one. And you can find your only early polling locations by going to my voter page, if you haven't voted already. And Michelle, do you want to talk to us a little bit about early voting? I know the last is tomorrow.
Yeah, so you guys should really celebrate the end of the year, the end of 2020, by early voting, because it ends tomorrow. We are done with early voting tomorrow. Super excited. 2020 has been a crazy year, and it's very ironic that at the end of the full year, it's the last day of early voting. So make sure, if you're planning to go vote tomorrow. If you're planning to go vote early, go vote tomorrow. If you're not voting, so if you are not voting absentee ballot, you know, expect long lines. These are things. Be prepared. Go prepared. You know, take an umbrella, take a chair, take a book, take your fully charged phone. Make sure you have your ID so that you do not have to go twice. Of course, if you forget your ID, you have the right to to a provisional ballot, which is basically a paper ballot. You have 3 days to cure that. So, and also make sure to check your polling location. We would hate for you to go tomorrow on the last day of early voting and you go to the wrong polling location and they tell you that you're not registered. So make sure, if you have an issue, you always have the right to a provisional ballot. Go prepared, and tomorrow is the last day. So expect some lines. And if you are voting through absentee ballot, you are able to turn in your absentee ballot until Tuesday at 7. So, you know, I'm pretty excited about all that. And tomorrow is the last day, and Tuesday is election day.
Yes. And honestly, guys, so some of your early polling locations are probably going to close around 7. So you still have a little bit of time to go vote tonight after you're watching the Civics chat.
Y'all have 45 minutes. No excuses.
No excuses. It did not take that long. When I went to go vote this past weekend, and it took like maybe 10 minutes. It was really, really quick. But don't expect that at every polling location, especially since Michelle said tomorrow is the last day for early voting. And I don't suggest to wait until Tuesday, but, you know, get your votes in. If you want to go Tuesday, only have time to go Tuesday. Just make sure you have your plan, like Michelle said. Have have an umbrella in case it rains, have your phone charged to listen to music, podcasts, take water. Don't forget to social distance. Don't forget to take your mask. So be prepared to be in long lines. But do not leave. Just a reminder, do not leave. If you feel discouraged, just stay there. Do not leave. You have the right to vote. Stay in line. Please stay in line. And if you feel like your rights are being violated, don't forget to call the hotline 1-866 our vote, for you guys to just report any problems or concerns that you see while voting at your locations if you are voting in person. But yeah, if you guys have your absentee ballot, just please make sure to just take it to a Dropbox in order to secure your vote, instead of sending them back in.
All that is actually super exciting. Thank you so much, Victoria. So I'm actually going to go ahead and talk a little bit about one of our programs called Election Protection. I am very excited about this program. So basically what Election Protection is we have collaborated with Galileo. LCF Georgia has collaborated with Galileo in doing election protection. A lot of our volunteers are out in the poll interpreting for those who are probably limited English speakers and are voting, or for example, are voting for the first time. So we are there. If you guys go to Gwinnett, Cobb, DeKalb, or Hall, and you happen to see somebody with a bright orange t-shirt that says Latinos for Democracy or a Galileo t-shirt, don't be shy. If you need help, please approach us. We are there to help you and support the Latino community and all communities to vote. So if you need any help, if you have any questions, please don't be shy to approach us. Again, that will be in a couple of locations in DeKalb, Hall, Cobb County, and Gwinnett County. So Victoria, can you tell us a little bit about making a plan to make sure that all of our viewers have a plan, a checklist per se, to go out and vote?
Yes, of course. So first things first, check your registration status. Check if it is active on my voter page. You don't want to show up and they're like, we can't find you in the system. So just make sure it is active. Second, research your candidates. Know who's on the ballot. We did go over this in the last Civic chat. So that is on our Facebook pages, LCF and Vecinos of Buford Highway. If you need to have some more insight about it, but research your candidates so you know who you're going to vote for. And like we said, if you guys are voting in person, just check your early polling locations near you, and you can do that by either my voter page or bit.ly/LCF poll. They actually have all the locations available as well. Don't forget to take your ID when you go vote. I made this mistake. Don't be like me. I forgot
See, we're human too. I mean, come on. We make mistakes too. Just because we work and this doesn't mean we don't forget stuff. It's true. We're as human as everybody else.
I went right back to the polls to vote, though. I got my ID and I got my vote in, so it was all good. And we are still in a pandemic, guys, so please take your mask, practice social distancing. A lot of polling locations should have some PPE, but you guys should also carry yours as well, just in case there is a long line. And with that being said, take a book, headphones, water. Some people like to take little chairs. Like, you just never know with the lines here in Georgia, with our history. So please be prepared, just in case there are long lines. And like we stated earlier, do not leave. If you feel the line's too long, maybe I'll come back later. No, just stay. Don't leave. I promise. Sometimes it just goes by faster than you think. But do not leave. Do not get discouraged. And if you feel like there is any concerns at your polling location, maybe something's a little sketchy, remember just to call 1-866 our vote to report any issues. And once again, if you are voting absentee, please place them to the nearest Dropbox location. And you can check that through vote.org, or you can contact the registrar's office. So, yes.
Awesome. All right. Well, the next time, we are going to be live is going to be on Monday, the day before Election Day. So make sure to join us for that, for another Civics chat. That will be our last Civics chat for this election cycle. So make sure to join us on Monday, and we will definitely be talking about Election Day and what you should expect. We are super excited for these elections to come to an end and also see what the results are going to be. So you guys make sure to early vote if you can. If you're going to vote on Election Day, please have a plan. And then also, if you have your absentee ballots, take it to your nearest Dropbox.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Happy New Year. Bye.
Happy New Year's, everyone.